Just a note about this particular art quilt. There is so much detail in learning how to do these dimensional flowers, doing this dimensional butterfly, adding these in really important embellishments. After 15 minutes in the video, I had only gotten this far. Hadn't done this, and hadn't done all this. And I don't know about you, but I don't think I could watch a video over 15 minutes. That's just too much information. So there's just going to be 2 steps, maybe 3 steps to getting this tutorial to you. But most importantly, all of it is of value because this is 1/3 of what you're going to have in the first video and the 2/3 in the second video. And one does not work effectively without the other. Once I have the theme set for my next art quilt, I start by looking at the background fabric and deciding what's the best background coloring arrangements that will enhance the theme and cooperate color-wise. For this art quilt, I started with the background being an ombre fabric. Light green moving into the yellow, which is really kind of the illusion that you get when you're looking in a garden. And over to the right are where the flowers are going to be. That's the main attraction. I will be adding more embellishments to the 2/3 to the left. For right now, what we're going to focus on is how we're going to make those flowers to be dimensional. What I have up here right now is just very basic to kind of get a feel for what I want to do. I have it fused to the batting. I'm ready to take the backing and fuse it now, and then I'll trim it off. It's going to be 15 inches wide and 12 inches high. I downloaded this picture and I wanted to show you some tips. If you have difficulty finding a pattern or if you're trying to create your own pattern, here's some things you can do. This showed various sizes of the flower. What I liked is it shows it in different shapes. But what I did then was I took a piece of tracing paper and I looked at all of these over here. Here we've got 3 different flowers, a little bit larger than this one, and this one's on an angle so we can really see what that cup looks like. And here's a couple of buds, and then here's one that's almost on its side. So took a piece of tracing paper, see if I can bring this closer for you, and traced right here. And all I did, now remember, this is I think the most important tip of all. Whenever you are trying to create something that is a flower, you don't think about trying to make this into a flower. Look at it as what shape am I trying to do? So I focused on the outside shape. Look up here. I hope you can see that. Let me put this out a little. See where all I did here was I just picked out the outside of it. So that helps you look at this from an entirely different point of view. And it does help you create a much better rendition of what you're trying to do with the flower. So what I did was copy the basic, just the outline. Then I looked to see where are my highlights. I don't know if you can see this on the camera, but there's a difference in color here and here, obviously here. So I've got yellow, and I've got kind of a gold, and I've got a bright yellow. Here I've got orange, and here I've got maroon, and then yellow again. So these are going to be some great colors I'm going to be able to play with. Over here, move this down. I did the same thing. I just copied the outside, and then I just simulated what I thought was out here. Now on this next one, bring this down. This one right here. There's a lot going on. I have to know how to do this, and how to position with the shades. So I started, like I said before, with just doing the outside. So I know that I have a shape that has little round tips at the end. Then I wanted to get more information on the horn, and I knew that it was going to be a circle, a half circle, and a half circle to indicate that right there we're looking down into the flower. Then I did a separate one, just looking at this, because this could be very tricky if I thought I was trying to create the horn. I'm not. I'm looking at a lampshade, and I'm looking at that size, that kind of shape like that. Then I just draw a half circle, and a half circle, and another half circle. And now I've pretty much got the things that I need. Then the other thing I wanted to do was decide what are the size of the leaves. They're pretty tall, are attached to a stem. They kind of grow all over the place. Here's the fabric that I'm going to use for the flowers. It's two tones. Again, it's kind of an ombre. This is all from the same fabric, one leading from the light into the little bit darker. Here's the pattern, and all of these have been fused. But there's two ways that I do this. The first one I lay down, and it kind of gives me the perspective and lets me know where we're going to be placing. Is that the right size based on everything else? And then what I'm going to be doing is creating actually dimensional leaves. Dimensional petals. And then we're going to have actually the little cone shape, the one that comes up like this. I think that's going to be fun to do. I'll show you how to do it. Look at all the different color in here. So I have some light, I have some dark, and I have some medium. So what I'll probably do is use the darker color for the stems, and then the leaves will be these, but I love this variety. I have the quilt top sealed and put together. I've got my batting, my backing, and my top. I have all of my leaves ready to go, and then I'll use this darker color for the stems. While I'm doing it, I'm just kind of laying this out and seeing what I've got. I'm going to make a dimensional butterfly to go here, and probably a light spraying of little flowers in here. These have been pressed together with heat and bond ultra hold in between the two of them. So what happens is when I cut one of these out and I heat it with the iron, I can shape this and it'll hold that shape. I would glue this down, bend this into a shape. And what I've added now is dimension to the flower. Okay, I have my trusty little mini iron on high. So I get this warmed up, getting the glue inside warmed up. And then what I'm going to do is just rest this in a curve like this. It's not warm. It's not hot at all. If I put this here, like right there, that'll be glued down. You can stitch too, I just prefer glue. And I put that there. We've given some nice dimension to this flower. Like anything you have that would work for something to mold this on. And what I'm doing is I'm holding it flat here, because that's going to be flat there. And I'm rounding it over something and holding it here to keep that flat. Bend it a little bit, or a lot, depending on what you want. You'll feel it when it cools down, because once it's cool, that's the shape it's going to remain in until I reheat it again. Or if I don't, it'll stay like that. So if we do this all the way across and around, I think that's going to look really, really interesting to be dimensional. Here's the center. This is like looking down. Let me see if I can find a picture. It's like if we're looking straight down, like here. These are all going to be colored with Inktense anyway. They're not going to, this will be too flat, too dull, not interesting enough. But normally what I'll do is I'll put this in the palm of my hand and get something that's a little smaller and kind of squish it. You can do this because it's not going to burn you. It's not hot like that. And there we have that. And that would probably go like right there. So I wanted to show you what I finally ended up doing as far as quilting on this art quilt goes. See the pins? Every place there's a pin, I just did a cross. So you can see where all the yellow pieces are. Those are just random X's. And then I was going to use very teeny tiny little gold beads. I'll see how that goes. But for right now, this is what we've got. The next thing I'm going to show you is what I've been doing with the flowers. This is the shape I need for going in the center of two of these, but I'm going to color it first before I set it into this shape. This is the product that I use all the time. I want you to see why. I'll do it over so you can see how this is coming out. Creamy, creamy product. So I use these two brushes. This is a number 6, and this is a 1. So I'm going to take the darker color. This is 600. This is where this bends and they all come together towards the center. So I'm going to do probably this much of it. And then I'm taking the number 500, which is this color here, and I'm going to bring it up a little more. So I'm going to take my flat brush, and I'm doing just the teeniest touch. Just the teeniest touch, okay? And I'm going to do a light scrub all the way across. And then I'm going to quickly pull it up, kind of feathery. I need a little more. And I'm going across the entire width of this. And a little more up here. And pull that up. I'm looking at this right here. Now, how do I want this to be? I want it to be something in here. So I'm going to do a little bit of a circle here. I always start out light because you can go darker. I could go lighter again, but that'd be the complication of having to add white. So that's that one. And then I'm going to add, this is the 5. And I'm going to add it out kind of like this. Kind of like it's spiraling out. And I might add, you know what, I'm going to try another color. What's this color? I don't know, I could be wrong about this, but how about some little highlights here? To give it an outline, like right there. Here's the dark, number 600. Here's the 500. That's the natural color that we have of the fabric. And here's this other color out here. That's probably an orange, and this is sure isn't an orange. It looks like a purple, but what the heck? Let's see what we got. So once again, I'm going to dip into this very lightly and start in the center and kind of rub that out. I'm not pressing hard on this at all. I do work pretty quickly because being that I have 2 pieces of fabric here and I've got glue in between them, it does move pretty quickly for me. All right, let's do some more. I think I need, let me try this a little more. Okay, now I'm scrubbing it out. I'm going to leave it rough like that. Now what I'm going to do is take this number 1 and wet it with textile medium and just lightly go around here. The intention here is to just create a little bit of a highlight to let people know that there is a definition here. I'm touching it very lightly. Okay, first go around. I think I need a darker color. Let's try, yeah. Can you see we need that? And I'm just softening it a little bit. I'm actually going to probably just leave it like that because once I heat this and I bring it into a wrinkle, and we do have a yellow center in there, I think we're going to be okay. This is the cone shape. That is this shape right here. And I'm going to cone shape it around this and then hold it until it sets. This is the smaller inside cone. This is going to be the outside part of the cone. Put this around the outside of it. Bring it up so it's kind of even. Wait, I think I want to do it this way. Because see the pretty pictures, the pretty color there? I think I'll do that. And then that's how that cone is going to be. We've got 2 of the daffodil genres done. I'm going to show you how I put one together over here. I'm going to show you what I've done. I put down here the flat piece that was fused right down to the quilt top. And then these are the curved pieces. And I put a dab of glue right there and right there, which are the two high points where it bends. And then I'm going to just rest it in there. So I put a little bit of glue right there, a little bit right there. Put the glue gun down. Try to match it up with the little tip that I've got right there. And it's in. You can see up here, this one's a little bit different. I did the cone shape for it, and I'm happy with that. So just by accident, I had an extra one of these. I always make a couple extras just in case something flubs up. But when I was reaching over to the quilt this way, this flipped, ended up right there. And I put this on top of it, and I thought I loved that dimension. I pressed down to kind of see where are the key places where it's touching. And then I'm just kind of guess. I got not a whole lot. I tried to go very minimalist in the glue, on the glue. We're just going to sit it right on top. It's pretty quick. So that's where we are. And then these guys, I'll talk to you about that in a little bit.